Welcome. Thank you for taking the time to allow me to share some things. One of the issues I have in my life is I struggle with the way of viewing myself known as the imposter syndrome. And the imposter syndrome, in essence, is that believing the lie that if people really saw the real you, that they would not love you. And so even when you do good things, you have in the back of your mind, well, that's just the way in which you're acting. And that's not the real you, because the real you at its very essence is not lovable, not likable. And that is the lie, I believe, that can be coming from a lot of different places, but at its core, it's not believing what God says about you and not accepting who God says you are. And so one of the ways in which I have been helped to move my thinking and my viewpoint of myself is through imagining myself in stories in the Bible. And so one of the stories that I've used is the story of Mephibosheth, who was the son of Jonathan. And it's found in 2nd Samuel. And let me just give you the essence of it. The essence of it is Mephibosheth was a cripple. He suffered a injury to his feet when he was probably 4 or 5. So it meant that he couldn't walk. And it's mentioned twice in 2 Samuel 9, which means that it was kind of what he was famous for. And so part of when I think of Mephibosheth, I think of a person maybe who thinks of, I'm just a mess up, that I can't even walk. And I relate to that because those are similar kind of thoughts that I have had. And the thing about that is it's negating the fact that in every situation God is there and that he never leaves you no matter what is happening and what the circumstances are, and basically what you look like or the way you act, that he will not run away from anything that you do or you think or that you say, that he loves you and will stick with you through it. So the part of Mephibosheth's story that I wanted to share right now is Mephibosheth was basically adopted by King David. And King David had a special table in which all of his sons would eat with him for the meal. And he gave Mephibosheth a place at that table, always. And so what he basically did was adopt Mephibosheth as a son. And if you do some reading about David's sons, they are not cripples. I kind of imagine them as athletic, as movie star handsome, and just these very impressive looking men. And here was Mephibosheth, who from everything outwardly probably was not even close to what the rest of them presented. But that was not the reason why he was at the table, and basically it wasn't the reason why David's sons were at the table. It was the relationship they had with David. And so what it reminds me of is God's love for me is not based on what I do or what I achieve, but it's based on the connection that I have with him. And so the other thing about eating at the table that I think about Mephibosheth is, he remained crippled. It wasn't like being at the table, all of a sudden the lame feet disappeared. But the lame feet did not impede him from being the person that he was, and he could be as equal at the table. And so for me, the application is this. God sees all the places that I'm lame in, whether it be my lack of doing things that I know and want to do, to maybe feeling like I don't have the talent for certain things. And all those things is basically not looking at who God is and how he made me to be. And so his invitation is to see myself sitting at his table and enjoying the presence of who he is, and also enjoying the presence of people who are there because they have a relationship with him. And so I believe that God wants me to be able to love myself the way that he loves me. And that is a big challenge, and I'm still learning through my life what that means. But it's also something that is not a journey of futility. It is a journey of excitement, because I discover things about myself that I never knew, and I can honestly see myself as someone who he created to be beautiful, and to be able to share that beauty with the world. And I'm not any different than each of one of you. That is what God wants you to know, is that you are beloved, you're beautiful, and that he wants you to share that with the world, because the world needs beauty, and it needs people who can care and accept one another and act in kindness and not in judgment. So I hope that we can really turn to the Lord and receive his love, and have that love overflow into the world. Thank you.